Welcome back to another episode of the Jacksonville Buzz is Making a Difference, where each week Rodney G.B. Clements and myself interview people doing fascinating things in the community. Today we have Thomas Duquemin from Standard Data Incorporated. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
All right, the three of us were talking off set. I mean, there are sometimes the cool industries that people produce things, and then there's these cool industries where I'm still trying to wrap my head around what the heck you do. Please tell us what you do at Standard Data.
Sure, yeah. So Standard Data is a professional services company offering solutions, expertise, and the actual integration development behind data infrastructure. So data pipelines, that kind of thing. With this kind of AI boom that's going on, it's the hot thing right now. But companies don't necessarily know how to leverage the data that they do have. And so we kind of talk about ourselves as like the pre-model people, getting companies ready to implement a machine learning model in their business for some use case.
And you were going down the road of being a physics professor.
I was.
You was, that was you were headed down that road. How do you go from physics to what seems to be a completely different architecture, but yet is similar at the same time? How did your journey lead you to an organization like this?
Sure, yeah. So I was studying physics in college. I decided that road, the PhD route, wasn't for me. Very interesting, loved it, loved the math, loved the just high-level conceptual, that way of thinking. And so when I graduated, I took a research job. It was more like
what we're going to do is we're going to splice this. So think through, start back where you said, graduating college, I got a research job, and then transition to what that was, because they'll just splice that. Don't worry about it.
All right.
There's so much be-real here. All right, so what I would do is count to three, pick it back up from when I graduated, I got a research job.
Okay. So when I graduated, I got a research job, and that was more on the, I guess, applied aspect. And so what I was doing there was building machine learning models that doesn't matter what exactly it is, but I learned all the ways that those models get developed. And all of the math, fundamentally, at the end of the day, is the same as physics. It's just linear algebra.
So Thomas, tell us how you analyze this data to help companies grow and be more productive and efficient.
Sure, yeah. So say there's a company, they've got a bunch of information, whether it's CSV or just blobs of text data, images. All of the compute infrastructure is essentially the same. It's data in, process data out. And you can, just if you know what you're doing, massively parallelize that process.
So I know a lot of companies are maybe stuck in the past a little bit. They're still using spreadsheets and kind of older technology from the 90s and such. Is that what you guys do too, is maybe create a database or help them transition into more present technology?
Yeah, sure. Database maybe, but as far as actually analyzing the data, for example, we had this one client. Is a GM supplier. They just had spreadsheets of data in a database, traditional SQL, and they were just writing these real complex queries to analyze that data. And it's just, that's not the right tool for the job. And so what we did is went in there, converted the file format, and just used cloud technologies, AWS, to process that data. And took them a couple of weeks, and it was like a 30-minute job.
So what happens for folks, we all have a technical aspect here on the show, so all of us have some sort of rudimentary knowledge of what this does to help as business owners, constantly innovating. In my world, in the financial universe, and in Rodney's world, in the medical universe, we are always having to innovate. But for that potential customer that may be a more seasoned company, to the one you were talking about, the spreadsheets, what's the outcome? Like what happened? They come to you, they contract you to do a job, you are able to zip. What do they get that they're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing?
Yeah. So, I mean, in this case, obviously, like time. That's the big thing.
Time.
Something that's really interesting is we've learned to just trim down scope as much as possible. to where, okay, what is the business outcome you want? And that's actually one of the really fun parts about it is working with people on what do they really want. You may think you want, this big machine learning model. Really, you want something far simpler than that to meet your objective.
What's around the corner, man? As we take it out for the last question for you.
Sure.
What is coming around the corner in the universe by which every 1 to 2 years your industry completely changes itself? What do you see as the next thing?
Interesting.
Mr. Not PhD deciding to start a business and do big data, small data, and all the way in between. What's the next thing out there?
Yeah. Probably more LLMs in the next couple of months, but
what is an LLM?
Your guess is as good as mine. Large language model, so ChatGPT, those kind of things.
Got it. Thank you for the plebeians in the room.
For sure.
Well, it is just fascinating, and we could go on for probably hours about this stuff. It is just an absolutely fascinating topic. What we'll do is we'll make sure to hang your content and your links on our website at iwannabuzz.com. People come check it out, and we'll obviously post this video. But thank you so much for coming in and helping us understand, really how big data really works. You see it all over the place, but you're really looking at it going, gosh, what does this actually do? And I think you probably hit the nail on the head. Time is a commodity. We all have 84,600 seconds a day. That's it. You don't get any more, you don't get any less. Doesn't matter how rich you are or poor you are, and that's it. What you're doing is you're giving back people their time to allow them to make more effective decisions that can then serve their customer. It's absolutely fabulous. Well, from all of us here at the Jacksonville Buzz and between Rodney and I, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, Thomas.
Yeah,
guys, thanks for joining us on another episode of Jacksonville Buzz is Making a Difference. If you like us, share us. Remember, live with gratitude.